Alright, hey everyone, and welcome to another wet and wild episode of Garden Frugal TV. I'm your host, Clint, and in this episode on the Building Raised Garden Bed series, I'm going to be going over installing the irrigation system, or the beginnings of the irrigation system. So, as I showed you in the previous video, it's a lot easier to start filling the bed with dirt, and I already had a sprinkler system kind of plumbed in to a sprinkler head that's on the outside of my box, and I'm going to move it to the middle of my box. And I've already dug out a trench. I just used a piece of plywood. I put it across the trench. You know, you saw me filling the garden bed up with soil earlier, dumping it in. And then that way, if you do the irrigation system ahead of time with the PVC pipe coming up in the middle of your garden bed, you're not going to be able to get your wheelbarrow past to fill that part of the bed up. So, like I said, it's easier to start filling it up until you get to where your irrigation is going to be. And like I said, I have the hole dug out. I have it covered up with some plywood, and we'll get that removed, and I'll bring you in a little closer. All right, so like I said earlier, I already had the trench dug. You can see the PVC pipe is going back here behind the bed to a sprinkler head. Well, I don't need the sprinkler head for the garden. I'm going to tap into it and bring my PVC pipe up in the center of my bed, and then I'm going to use that for the drip irrigation. So, first step is going to be to clean the PVC pipe here. So I just got myself a rag. And we got really clay soil here, so just scrubbing this off. It's kind of dried on here. Alright, so the tools needed for this job are a rag to clean the pipe, a tape measure. I'm going to use a elbow, and this is 3/4 inch PVC. I'm going to use a cap, because once I bring it up, I'm going to cap it off and just leave it until I finish filling the rest of the garden bed up with soil. You're going to need PVC cement and primer. I got myself a Sharpie marker, and this is a ratcheting PVC cutter. So they're really easy to work with, makes it super easy. As well as a chunk of 3/4 inch PVC pipe. So the first step is going to be getting this into the middle of my bed here. And my beds are 4 feet wide. So I'm going to want to go about 2 feet or so from the bed. Alright, you guys, the next step is I'm going to want to get a PVC piece of pipe that comes up vertically out of this piece of ground here. So just to get a rough guide of how big I'm going to need this piece, looks about 33 inches to me. Alright, so I'm just going to come back on my PVC pipe here. 33 inches. Make a quick mark. And then I'm going to use these ratcheting PVC cutters. So these are super easy to use, you guys. You can buy them. They're inexpensive. I'd say about $10 or $12 or so. You just pry them, the handles apart. It opens up the blade. You put it on your mark, and then you just squeeze, and they ratchet closed. And it'll cut through the PVC. Alright? Really easy to use, really simple, doesn't take a lot of force. This stuff is pretty easy to cut. So, no rocket science or anything like that, it's just getting a nice rough piece. Going to just install a cap on it so it doesn't fill up with dirt. And that's going to go down in there like that. Alright? So, what you can do ahead of time is bond these two together. Alright, so let's do that now. Once you get these open here, just going to make sure my PVC pipe is all just nice and clean. My other fitting is cleaned out. Okay, And it's probably best to wear some gloves. I'm just going to try to be careful while doing this and not get myself completely covered. But you just soak the inside of the fitting, soak the pipe with the solvent, and then you'll come in. Now you'll come in with the solvent around, and then you'll just put them together with a twist. Twist them, hold it for 30 seconds, and you'll have yourself a nice, completely sealed pipe. Alright, you guys, the next step is going to be cutting this PVC pipe to add our chunk to come up in our raised garden bed. So again, it's really simple, just ratchets. And there's some water left in that. So I'm going to get this old one up out of the way. Oh, looks like there's quite a bit of water in there to drain out. I'll let that water drain out. Clean up this pipe. Try not to get anything down in there, but we can flush it if we do. So now what you want to do is you want to do a dry fitting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work this fitting onto the pipe, and I'm just going to check. I mean, it doesn't have to be totally accurate, but you know, I just want it to be somewhat level. And once you've got it to where you're going to want it, grab your Sharpie and just make a little line. Alright? So that way, when you take this apart, when you glue it, because it sets up pretty quick, as you're gluing it, you can twist it, line that line up, and then your pipe should be exactly where you want it. Alright? So let's take this apart. Sorry. So you're going to want to use the primer on the pipe and the fitting, and then the solvent. Alright? And there's more water coming out of there. There's the solvent. Sorry, there's the primer. Alright, now we'll use the solvent. Apply it to the pipe, and apply the pipe by twisting. And line up your mark. You should just have to hold it for about 30 seconds and it'll set up. And I made it a little bit taller than what I need, but that's just, I'm going to come back later after we completely fill this up with dirt. We'll trim it and we'll get the rest of the fittings to go. But now it makes it easier. I can backfill this and continue filling the bed with soil. So and this was the beginnings of installing the irrigation. Thanks for coming, you guys. Make sure to check out gardenfrugal.com, facebook.com/gardenfrugal, and subscribe to youtube.com/gardenfrugal. All right, you guys, well, you know the drill. Until next time, know your limit and grow within it. All right, guys, take care.